Please, can you pause?
But let's go. Actually, let's go now. Let's go now.
No, Jemba.
Sanwana Dumelang, hello Molweni, Ikamalam Gulwazi, and today I wanted to talk about the Nelisa issue and what we can learn from her and her situation. Tukwawampelile, so I've got my diary out.
Since you just met, don't you think it's too early for you to say that?
For now, I'm trusting what I'm seeing. I think I've seen his core character.
In just 2 weeks? I feel like it's not realistic for her to ignore that this could actually go bad.
I don't believe Nelisa and Themba actually got to know each other. I don't think that we have seen from their interactions anything deeper than the fact that they get along, they have a similar sense of humor, and they both share a love language of touch. So I think that because of the butterflies and because within the first week, they were already talking about plans for the future, which house is going to be used, what are we going to do with the kids, they forgot to actually sit down and get to know the person who's in front of them. Who are you? Where are you coming from? How did you grow up? What relationships did you get into as a child that you thought were fun or might have hurt you or shaped the way that you enter relationships now? What are the things that you really dislike but have a hard time talking about? What are the things that you find offensive that other people wouldn't find offensive? There's so many things that they could have spoken about because they were actually strangers. You may start to think, I don't need to get to know them because they're a good person. We sometimes think of getting to know people as just as a vetting process, which, yes, if you know people, then you'll better be able to see if you are a good fit or not. But part of intimacy is getting to know the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and the journey of knowing them as they evolve throughout your lifetimes. And I think that because they don't know each other, there are many extrapolations that Nelisa is going to be making based on the friendliness, the funniness, the handsomeness, the physical affection of it all. Because they don't know each other, because they have a similar sense of humor, and they're both very touchy people, and because Nelisa initially said she doesn't pick the right people, so she's trusting the experts to choose the right person for her. And if they've matched her with this person, I think the conclusion she reaches is that this is a great guy. The experts approve, I like him, let's go.
Okay, it stems from my dad, basically. He kept on running away. I kept on reaching out. Just be that girl that he can love. So it was my approach to romance. He told me how I'm not good enough. I'm not wife material. I remember he even said to me, your sister, which is my little sister, will get married when you'll still be battling with umjolo.
The thing that has stopped Nelisa from deeply exploring her relationship and showing up as her most genuine self and being able to live in every moment and take everything as is instead of what she wants it to be or what she hoped it would be is the wife material trope. This wife material thing is going to be a common thread throughout this season, and not just when they're comparing themselves to Makoto, but in the way she approaches situations. Granted, there are some very good tactics that we can take away from her Makoti wife material thing, such as being poised, such as supporting your husband, but she does it to her own detriment every time. In her previous relationship, She was emotionally abused, and that man told her that she is not wife material, she will never get married. And that is something that hurt her deeply, because this thing that she so desires, she was being told she's not worthy of it. And having your self-worth attacked is just another level of mind games and another level of manipulation. The thing is, she also has a history of people pleasing, into being people's favorite, or into making people stay and love her. She tells us this when she's talking about her relationship with her father, and she says that she approached her relationships the same way she approached her father's relationship, where he kept running away from her and she kept doing everything she can to make him stay and to prove that she is worthy of his love. This is one of the things that will make it difficult for her to be honest about how she feels, to look at this situation objectively, and to not just look at marriage, specifically this marriage, as, the prize and the be all end all. I think she now has blurred the lines between a good marriage and just marriage in general. Like, as long as I'm married, there's hope. And that's not a great place to be. That's exactly where manipulators and abusers want you to find yourself, so that they can use it against you, so that they can do whatever they want and know that you're not going anywhere. This people pleasing and this wife material thing are the main reasons, in my opinion, she continues to fight so hard.
Friends is no more. Sanihamba nithetha yonke into pha.
This is the reason she doesn't trust the women's opinions and criticisms. She was sitting down with the ladies, and the ladies brought to her attention that the relationship Themba has with the mother of his children is suspicious. The first thing she does isn't to just listen, take it in, and weigh for herself if there's any credibility to these concerns. I'm not saying you shouldn't speak well of your husband and you shouldn't protect his reputation, but the reputation shouldn't hang on you not saying things. Your husband's reputation is based on his character and how he shows up in the world, more than it is about you and how you portray him to people. Anytime she hears something about Themba, her first instinct is to ask herself, aren't they just jealous? They don't want me to be happily married. They want me to be miserable just like them. She said this about Umakota, saying she wanted to be married to Themba, but even if she had him, she wouldn't know how to take care of him. I think we all know that Umakota is probably into like big muscular guys, good looking guys, not really Themba. She said her ex saying these things about her made her doubt herself. She's at a point where she doesn't really trust herself and the way she shows up in relationships. And this is going to be critical for what happened in episode 12. It shows that she doesn't trust herself. It shows that she doesn't know what to do, and she doesn't know what a healthy relationship looks like.
And you decided to stick by me all the time, supportive, even though sometimes I feel like it was a lot, to digest and accept my situation. You did stick by me, and I don't take that for granted. I appreciate that. It really means you are here to stay, and you do love me, and I love you too.
You wanna make me cry?
Listen, I appreciate you.
I didn't know that he actually fully understands that this thing is hard for me, but I'm choosing to stay regardless. Can I tell you the funniest thing about this whole journey, ne? For the first time, I'm feeling like I'm falling short.
Even the little crumbs that he leaves around, such as the time he was thanking her for sticking through everything, and he said, I appreciate you for not leaving. It really shows that you're here for the long haul. That speech did not say anything about her qualities as a human being or a woman. He didn't say, you are so kind, you are intelligent, you are wise. He just said, I'm so glad you put up with me. That's what he was actually saying. Tsepo used to spoil his wife. Uber her everywhere, drop her off at work. She had the cars, she had this, that. When they were good, they were having a good time, and he was spoiling her. Princess treatment every day, right? Unkuli has been patient and understanding towards his wife. He understands the hostile love that she is used to, and he has gone out of his way to prove to her that there's more for her out there. There is a better love that she could, experience. Ubongani has been very supportive of his wife. He has walked beside her with grace, with humility. And now I want to ask, what has Temba done? What has he shown us about his love that we can, praise? Because all I've seen Temba do is touch her and smile and praise her for being wife material. Do you see the trend here? The reason she got emotional when they were talking is because he acknowledged that she was sticking through a lot of this, and she said, oh, I'm so glad that he said that, and I don't feel like I'm showing up enough for him. I feel like he loves me more than I love him. And I'm thinking, why do you think this? The validation that she is worthy of marriage, the validation that she is wife material, seems to be the driving factor for what makes her emotional and what makes her feel that he loves her so much. Not necessarily his actions, not necessarily his character, not anything we can point to as evidence beyond physical intimacy and a good time. There is need for us to use discernment. And when something seems off, we need to trust that discernment. Utemba didn't tell Nelisa about the family holidays. She knew nothing about it. She was shocked when the girls brought it up to her.
Did your man go on holiday recently with the kids?
I don't know about it. No, I don't.
Because I heard that he went on holiday with the baby mom and the kids.
That's news to me.
Is it?
Yet, it doesn't make her question his honesty. They have spoken at length about the mother of his children. They have spoken about some of the things that are poor boundaries. But this he didn't mention. Yet he mentioned it to the boys. So it's not like he forgot about it. He intentionally did not mention it. And she also doesn't really ask questions. She doesn't talk to him about his actual life, I feel.
Since that day when she was angry, she gave you the kids.
Okay, she left it at my neighbor's house, yeah.
So there won't be anyone rocking up.
If I both kissed, no one would just rock up.
Okay. I don't know if it happened.
Nelisa doesn't believe the keys were returned. That's big. Temba says she left the keys of the house with the neighbor. And he was saying that they don't live together. The Usponono has her own place, but she had a bank card and an extra set of keys to his house in case she wanted to do this, that, or the other for the kids. Temba says no, she no longer has the key, so no one's going to be walking in and out of our house anymore. And she admits she doesn't think that really happened. She doesn't ask more questions. When are you going to fetch the keys from your neighbor. Who's this neighbor? Which one? She leaves it alone. Then she continues to talk about how she doesn't think that Usponono is going to respect their relationship going forward. She is feeling quite anxious and says she doesn't want to share. What I think she means is she doesn't want to spend the rest of her life fighting for a spot in this man's life, fighting to create boundaries where he fails to do. All of us know that a man wanting marriage, wanting a healthy family, wanting a peaceful life would have already put proper boundaries with the mother of his children in preparation for the relationship that he wants to have. The fact that none of these things happened until Nelisa said they need to happen was already a very sketchy gray place to be. But now Utemba is pretending that, oh no, I've spoken to her, everything is fine now, keys are back. And she says, I don't think you are being realistic about the gravity of the situation to her and what that would mean for me and my peace going forward. And he minimizes it. He says she's just being insecure, and the problem is the fact that I let you into my life. I shouldn't have let you in. Look at what you're doing with the information. Women don't know how to take the truth. They can't handle the truth. No. Women can't handle the truth. The problem is you. The problem is that the truth that you want to tell is very problematic and you don't want to deal with the repercussions. You don't want to deal with the reality of that truth. So rather than actually doing what needs to be done to prepare a healthy environment for your wife and to reassure her for her very valid concerns, you're opting to not tell her the truth. It's very cowardly. And it made me sad that she thought it was okay that he was dismissing her feelings and blaming her for the way she was feeling. I don't think she wants this. But I think she also doesn't want to prove that partner right by having this marriage fail. The minute she heard that Utemba had loboled Usponono, but chose to look at that relationship as just mjolo, that's when she chose Temba over herself, because we all know ilobola is legally binding. If Temba passes away, Sponono will come and bring that letter and say, I want what is rightfully owed to my children as their inheritance, because this is my husband. There is no letter talking about families meeting in order to dissolve their marriage. There is no divorce certificate. Even the meeting that was held between the families seems to be a meeting to fix or discuss the issues. It doesn't sound like it was a meeting saying officially now you two are no longer together. Because if it had been a meeting talking about the dissolution of that family, they wouldn't have left their daughter with someone who's saying, I don't want your daughter anymore. It just wouldn't happen. There are 3 things Nelisa walked away from the confrontation with Usponono knowing for a fact. Because the expert said it and not Usponono. I know that she wouldn't believe anything Usponono says. But when she left that meeting, these are the things that she knew. Number 1, there is evidence that Temba and Sponono were in a relationship still when Utemba came into this experiment and married you. 2, Temba didn't divorce his wife, he ghosted her. Nelisa walked away not only knowing this, but joking to her husband saying, if you decide you no longer want me, please don't just be quiet. Please tell me. Tell me it's over. 3, Temba and Sponono live together. The experts and Usponono both were able to say this definitively because Otemba brought his things back to where Usponono lives. And she had already suspected earlier on that Utemba didn't really get those keys back from Usponono. So, in light of these 3 facts that she knows for sure, when she walks out of this meeting hand in hand with her husband, saying, "It doesn't make sense to me. Why would she try and warn me? She doesn't even know me. And she should let go. If he doesn't want you anymore, he doesn't want you." We need to take accountability. At this point, Temba's not the problem. The problem is her. The problem is me and you being shown evidence of how a person has poor character and us choosing not to believe that because of who we want him to be. Nelisa told Usponono, what if he is no longer that person you're describing, because he's been so good to me and he is going to continue to be good to me? Ma'am, how? Accountability. Discernment.
This is something I prayed about. I didn't just do it. And at some point, I even said to God, if this is not for me, he can cut it. Like, he can just pull the plug. And
we need to stop with the Jesus class. Jesus class is when we do something that we wanted to do. God didn't tell us to do it. We wanted it. And he's given us free will, so he lets us do it. And then because he let us do it, we say, obviously God has blessed me because he has allowed this thing to happen. No. We know God's will. God's will is in the Bible. God's will is that we would live for him, that we would repent, that we would obey, and that we would, but the absence of God intervening, causing an earthquake, coming down in the flesh again to tell you, I am God, leave all these other things. All these things we want him to do are just about our disbelief, our lack of faith, and us wanting to do whatever we want to do and not have to live with the consequences of it. That's what that is. Sorry for that little crash out, but we just keep doing that. We keep doing whatever we want and then saying it's God. It's your will. It's what you wanted. Stay safe out there, guys. Yeah.